Yeah, but you're in the wrong.
Witness 10 moments of Karens getting owned and humiliated. We begin our first Karen, who thinks she is above the law. She got busted trying to smuggle 2 undocumented immigrants. Thinking her charm could smooth things over, Karen tried flirting her way out of trouble. But surprise, the officer wasn't swayed and stayed focused. As the officer probed for details, it turned out Karen's ID was fake. The 2 women with her were undocumented immigrants, possibly victims of exploitation. The immigrants were sent back across the border. Karen tried her luck, but the officer's professionalism won out, ensuring the immigrants' safety. Deborah Jo Michelle Hunter, a resident of Fernandina Beach, decided to stir up trouble by flipping off and coughing on Heather Sprague, who was recovering from brain surgery. Why? Because she felt she could. Despite claims of her being a sweetheart by her entourage, Sprague described Hunter's actions as nothing short of bullying, with threats thrown in the mix, all while her kids watched in disbelief. As for Hunter, her remorse seemed fake, earning her 29 days in prison. The judge wasn't impressed, calling her out for her lackluster apology and apparent self-centeredness. Meanwhile, Sprague, masked up and vigilant, managed to capture Hunter's antics on camera, leaving her rattled and anxious afterwards. Fortunately, her COVID-19 test came back negative, but the scare lingered like a bad hangover. Hunter's behavior not only showed a blatant disregard for others' well-being, but also served as a stark reminder that actions have consequences, whether one chooses to acknowledge them or not. Next up is a real head-scratcher. This Karen boldly navigated through police barricades and restricted streets. Officers quickly caught her in a nearby parking lot, leading to a traffic stop that went sideways. As Lieutenant Osborne took charge, demanding ID and questioning her motives, Karen, oblivious to the restricted area, justified her actions as just trying to meet friends. When officers found a 14-month-old baby in the back seat, things went south. Suspecting she was impaired, officers dug deeper. Frustration and defiance followed as Karen denied any wrongdoing, questioning the delay. Tensions rose, with Karen hurling accusations and demanding space. In the midst of the verbal sparring, Karen flaunted her professional background, claiming ties to the Department of Education and Senator Bob Graham. But the officers remained undeterred, prioritizing the child's safety and a thorough investigation. Amelia Bassoon, suspected in the brutal deaths of Cynthia and Sean Stack, brings a whole new level of cunning to the interrogation room. With her alleged partner in crime, husband Josh, Amelia attempts to manipulate the detectives with a delicate balance of charm and innocence. But her tactics don't end there. From coy body language to calculated movements, she plays every card in the seduction handbook. But let's not forget her shady past. As a former bank employee, Amelia pulls off a daring heist, swindling $50,000 from a client's account. And when Cynthia and Sean start asking questions, Josh allegedly resorts to violence. Amelia was a mess. One moment, she's an open book, eager to spill her secrets. The next, she's defensive and closed off, like a criminal mastermind caught in the act. Our next Karen, Melissa, takes Karen to a whole new level. Facing charges after an attack on a judge, Melissa Harvick's courtroom outburst stunned everyone present. During a domestic violence complaint hearing against her by her husband, Judge Jennifer Upchurch Edwards, Harvick's reaction was anything but ordinary. Dissatisfied with the proceedings, she went to extremes, leaping over the bench to physically assault the judge. As if that weren't enough, investigators have piled on more charges against Harvick, including intimidating a participant in a legal process, terroristic threatening, and resisting arrest. Despite being led out of the courtroom, Harvick's tirade against the judge continued, echoing through the halls. Fortunately, Judge Edwards emerged physically unscathed from the ordeal. Moving on. This one kicks off with the officer laying down the law, barking orders like, "Close your door and get back in your car." But of course, our Karen isn't about to take orders without a fight. She challenges the officer at every turn, questioning the legitimacy of the whole ordeal. As tensions soar, the situation takes a spicy turn when the officer announces an impending arrest. But Karen isn't one to back down easily. She fires back with claims of a dumb move and demands her rights. Suspicions of impairment add fuel to the fire, leading to a search and sobriety tests. Karen, ever the drama queen, demands the removal of her cuffs and boldly asserts her readiness for the tests. Post-arrest, the officer hits her with the Miranda rights, reminding her of her right to silence and legal counsel. Lena Hernandez, a 54-year-old from Long Beach, went viral with her bold display of bigotry against Asian Americans in a Torrance park. From her vile remarks like, "Go back to whatever Asian country you belong in," to her mocking imitation of a man with a fake Asian accent, her behavior was utterly disgusting. Facing the consequences, Hernandez opted to plead no contest to a misdemeanor battery charge. In exchange, she received what some might consider a slap on the wrist, a mere 47-day jail sentence, along with 3 years of probation and anger management classes. Oh, and let's not forget the restraining order to keep her away from the victim in the mall where the incident occurred. Now, if you want to know what entitled Karens are, we have got the perfect example here. In the midst of her hearing, this Karen couldn't help but chuckle and grin, seemingly indifferent to the gravity of her predicament. As the proceedings neared their end, she casually bid adios to the judge, a move that would prove to be her downfall. But this judge wasn't one to tolerate such blatant disrespect. Without hesitation, he summoned her back and slapped her with a hefty fine of $10,000, doubling her initial penalty. Let's shift our attention to the next entitled Karen on our radar. Skylar Floss, a confident 18-year-old, made waves with a video boasting about how she outsmarted a potential DUI during a traffic stop. According to Skylar's self-proclaimed genius tactics, she managed to charm her way out of a ticket after getting pulled over for reckless driving. However, a reality check came swiftly when the officer's body camera footage surfaced. It painted a much clearer picture of the situation. Suspecting intoxication due to Skylar's erratic driving, the officer opted for a warning instead of escalating the situation with a ticket. Skylar's video hinted at a high breathalyzer reading during the encounter, but it turned out she hadn't been tested at all. Further digging into the matter uncovered additional footage showing Skylar indulging in heavy drinking at a party prior to getting behind the wheel. Caught red-handed, Skylar eventually came clean about driving under the influence. When this Kevin strutted into court, he probably thought he was the sharpest legal mind in the room. As the judge grilled him about posting bond, this arrogant Kevin's cocky attitude only made things worse. With each snarky comment, he dug himself deeper into the legal quicksand. But the judge wasn't having any of it. He swiftly slammed the hammer down, sentencing Kevin to 30 days behind bars for his boldness. Even as the seriousness of his situation sank in, Kevin refused to bend to authority. That brings us to the end of today's video. Hit that like button and subscribe for more content from us. Thanks for watching. Until next time.